Welcome to my equipment guide for the jeweled set. This is a set mainly for yellow builds, and the theme of the set is blinding your opponent and getting advantages when your opponent is blinded. Each color has one effect and one set that works well with that effect. Red has Fireworker with Burn. Um, Purple has the Night set, which doesn't really have any related effect, but you have Hex with the purple, with a purple spell, I think one or two, and Terror as well. So even when the set is not specifically for that effect, it does still work well. Blue has Bloodfang with Freeze, and green has the Serpentine set with Poison. So this is the yellow equivalent with Blind. This is a set that you can craft with your three crafters, Toragon, Jimka, and Soul Chaser. Let me show you here. Jeweled, where are you? Right here. As you can see, you can craft the different pieces of equipment for this set. And you can also farm the different pieces of equipment in dungeon number 10, the Pharos of Lothdin. Lothdin? I think. Lothdin? I don't know. But there is also a variant for this set, which is found in Season 4.0, Storming the Mines, which is the reinforced variant. Like all other variants, you can mix and match pieces of equipment from the base set with the variant set, no problem. And you can also use the base set pieces to um, refine the variant pieces, which are a little bit better. So let's check what the variant does. At the start of your turn, gain 1% of your starting armor per reinforced gear equipped. You can have 6 pieces of this set equipped, plus the Moranin's Helm, which is from the Pantheon set. This is the unique item in Season 4.0. But even when it doesn't show up here, that this one also rolls the variant, I do have Moranin's Helm, so I can show you. Let's go to Pantheon right here. It's the only piece of equipment I have from this set. But as you can see, here it says reinforced, and it does have this reinforced ability. So you can have 7 pieces of equipment that are reinforced. Now, a different question is if they're worth it or not. So, going back to the jeweled set, let's talk about the set bonuses first. For the 2 pieces, there is an 85% chance to convert a purple gem to a yellow gem each turn. Very good if you're playing a yellow build. Absolutely. It's not guaranteed. It's only 85% chance, but 85% chance is pretty good. And this can trigger on round 1. If you add to these 2 items from the um, Ancient Dragon set, that gives you 4 gems of your color. If you're playing mono yellow, it's going to be 4 yellow gems each at the start of each turn. So you will have 100% chance to generate 4 gems and an 85% chance to generate a 5th gem at the start of each turn. So pretty good. If you're going to use the set, definitely use 2 pieces of equipment. The 4 set pieces increases light resistance by 20%. You can argue that this can be useful in PvP if you're playing a mono yellow tournament, but 20% is not really that big. And as I will show you later, the individual pieces of equipment for this set are not particularly good, with a few exceptions. So yeah, only 20% increase in light resistance. And finally, for the 6 pieces at mythical rarity, inflict blind on your enemy for 7 turns when matching 5 or more yellow gems. Again, it sounds great on paper, and I did use the full set when I started tinkering with my green and yellow mercenary. But yeah, I mean, it's not that good. There are other ways to inflict blind on your opponent. There are multiple yellow spells that can inflict blind. You can also use, as I said right before, the Mirror of the Forgotten. If you are going to use 2 pieces of equipment from the Ancient Dragon set, that has a 20% chance to blind the enemy. So there are many sources for blind in yellow builds to justify the 6 set bonus. So in my opinion, a very good 2-piece set bonus for yellow builds, but the 4 and the 6 pieces, not that good. Next, let's talk about the different different pieces. The weapon is the Jeweled Orb, and there is a 2.5% chance per elemental gem, so you could potentially use this weapon with any other color. There is a 2.5% chance per elemental gem to blind the enemy for 4 turns when matching skulls. Yeah, no, thank you. This weapon is really bad. Honestly, there are so many good weapons in this game that the Jewel Orb is just not good. Yes, you could use it potentially with different colors, but still, the chance is so low that yeah, it you could make it work theoretically, but yeah, you're missing out on much better weapons. I cannot really justify it. Next, the shield. In my opinion, the best piece of equipment for this set. It generates between 2 or 3 yellow gems when you block. Now remember that block chance is capped at 80%, and for this to work, you need to have a high quality uh, shield. This one, for example, rolled almost maxed block. Is very low because this character, as you can see, only has a level 1 offense scroll. But in, let's say, for example, level 35, 36, okay, I'm not using it on this one. Let's see the shield. Where are you? Right here. Okay, it will be 495, so 49.5% chance to block um, at a level 36 attack scroll, which is decent. But what I'm trying to say is it's a very good shield, but you need to invest some resources to increase the quality and to hone it. Otherwise, your chance to block is going to be very low, and therefore the chance to generate yellow gems is going to be very low. So I think it's a good shield for yellow builds if you are able to upgrade it considerably. Now, one negative with this is that these yellow gems are generated at the end of the opponent's turn, and sometimes these yellow gems match before the start of your turn, so they are completely wasted. It is rare, but sometimes it happens. And especially if the opponent is also playing yellow, you are giving it extra mana for free. So it does have that drawback, but still is a pretty good piece of equipment, in my opinion, because there aren't that many good shields in the game to begin with. Next is the Jeweled Pendant. Gain 4% to healing boost for each yellow gem on the board. Healing boost, I've talked about it in other videos, is one of your defensive stats that increases the amount of healing you get from things like regeneration or spells that heal your life or your armor or your resistance, etc. So if you have a very high healing boost, it will greatly increase the power of all those spells or pieces of equipment. The negative side is that the Savior's Locket, which is also an amulet, is considerably better. So it's not that the Jewel Pendant is bad, it's that the Savior's Locket is so much better for any element that, yeah, it overshadows the Jewel Pendant. But if you have it, you can use it. Next, let's talk about the breastplate. As you can see, this one is the reinforced variant. Adds 55% of your hero's level. I think at max rarity is 80%. Let me check for a second. Is it 75 or 80? 70. Okay, only 70. 70% of your hero's level to your light damage resistance, which means at maximum level of 50, you will gain 35% light damage resistance. Again, it can be useful in PvP against element locked opponent or in a light event, but overall mediocre at best. Remember that elemental resistances are capped at 80%. Next is the Jeweled Gauntlets. Again, in my opinion, the second best piece of equipment for this build, with an asterisk, a really, really big asterisk. It deals 30% bonus to damage to blinded enemies. This is very similar to the Bloodfang Gloves that deals 30% bonus damage to frozen enemies. As I said before, each element has one debuff that is related to that element, and it increases the some pieces of equipment can increase the damage. Now, why did they say a big asterisk? Because this is useful with a elemental build. If you're using a physical build, generally speaking, you want to have either gloves that will increase your critical hit chance, like for example the Track gloves or the Guard gloves or the Dwarven, where are you? Dwarven gloves that will increase your critical hit chance. And after you get enough critical hit chance from your attributes, you will want to use the runic wristbands for the added critical damage. So these items will increase your damage way more than this 30% bonus to blinded enemies from the Jewel Gauntlets, if you're using a physical build. If you're using a mono yellow elemental build, yeah, definitely excellent gloves for that specific build. But yeah, yellow elemental, pure elemental builds are viable. They require a lot of work and a lot of time invested. I made a video about the Paladin's yellow different builds, both for elemental and physical builds. So it is possible, and 30% bonus damage is not a small amount. But yeah, it's only for those very, very specific yellow elemental builds. And finally, the Jewel Pants. Gain 4% of your starting armor when you create a big yellow gem. Again, another decent piece of equipment, you are going to be in a mono yellow build, you are going to be generating big yellow gems each turn, at least one, maybe two or three, depends on how the gems show up. So it will increase your starting armor. It's just that 4% is not that big. And again, if you're playing a physical build, I recommend the bone leg armor instead, because yes, it's a smaller amount, but the bone leg armor together with another bone piece of equipment, like the bone ring, for example, you know how much I love bone rings, will give you a chance to generate a skull, a 75% chance to generate a skull at the start of your turn, which is pretty good. Um, or you could also use the Buccaneer's breeches, which is another piece of equipment that can increase your starting armor. So not bad, but it depends on exactly your other pieces of equipment. Now, there is something else about this build, excuse me, this set, and that is synergy with other yellow specific sets, such as the Lightbringer set. This is another set that is yellow themed. I will make a video about the Lightbringer set. But yeah, some of the pieces of equipment you can mix between the two sets because they also have pretty good synergies. And the other set that also has some yellow theme is the Diakin, whatever it is pronounced, especially with the boots that when matching yellow gems, if you have it at mythically 7 yellow gems, you will automatically blind the enemy and therefore trigger things like the Ewald gauntlets effects, etc., etc. And obviously, just blinding the enemy will have the physical damage they deal to you. So just blinding by itself, even without the extra bonuses, is beneficial for you. But yeah, this is another set that I will make a video about. So when you're working on a yellow build, look for items for all three sets and see what you can use, because all three sets revolve around yellow color and blind as a debuff that you can use. And that is my video about this specific set. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.